Greetings students. Today we are going to learn about one of USA's leading financial services company, Citigroup. Let us know this company in a much better way. Citigroup Inc. or Citi is an American multinational financial services corporation headquartered in Manhattan, New York City, New York, United States. Citigroup was formed one of the world's largest mergers in history by combining the banking giant Citigroup and financial conglomerate Travelers Group in October 1998, announced on April 7, 1998. The year 2012 marked Citi's 200th anniversary. It is currently the third largest bank holding company in the United States by assets. Its largest shareholders include funds from the Middle East and Singapore. Citigroup has the world's largest financial services network, spanning 140 countries with approximately 1,600 offices worldwide. The company currently employs approximately 260 lakh staff around the world, which is down from 267,150 in 2010, according to Forbes. It also holds over 200 million customer accounts in more than 140 countries. It is one of the primary dealers in US Treasury securities. According to Forbes, at its height, Citigroup used to be the largest company and bank in the world by total assets with 357 lakh employees until the global financial crisis of 2008. Today, it is ranked 20th in size under the Fortune 500 list. In comparison, JP Morgan Chase, which is ranked 16th on the Fortune 500, is now the largest bank in US as of 2012.
Vanessa, Citibank has one of the global brands that's best known among banking customers. What are you trying to do to distinguish the brand now?
Well, I think, coming out of the situation that we've been in globally with the economy over the past couple of years, really the most important thing for us is to ensure that customers know that we're really there for them. We've really embarked upon a path of being very focused on our customers. And when we think about the brand in North America, we're really thinking about how do we communicate that we're here to support you, we're here to help, and this really isn't about us. This is about how we help you write the stories of your life.
In the wake of the financial crisis, obviously images of banks all over the country have taken a bit of a hit. Is there any image building you have to do at this point?
It's not building our image, it's really building the value that we deliver to consumers. And as we do that, we're incredibly mindful from a marketing perspective about how we communicate.
Citigroup was formed on October 9, 1998, following the $140 billion merger of Citigroup and Travelers Group to create the world's largest financial services organization. The history of the company is thus divided into the workings of several firms that over time amalgamated into Citigroup, a multinational banking corporation operating in more than 100 countries, or Travelers Group, whose businesses covered credit services, consumer finance, brokerage, and insurance. As such, the company history dates back to the founding of the Citibank of New York, later Citibank, in 1812, Bank Handlowy in 1870, Smith Barney in 1873, Banamex in 1884, Salomon Brothers in 1910.
June 16, 1812, New York City. The city's population was less than 100,000, and the nation was composed of 18 states. Alexander Hamilton's Bank of the United States had failed, and it was the eve of war with Great Britain. Despite the problems, New York City was fast becoming the financial center of the country. A meeting occurred among a group of local merchants concerned about the financial instability of the times. Among them was Colonel Samuel Osgood, a distinguished captain of the Minutemen, and a close friend of George Washington. The outcome of the meeting was a charter for a new bank, the City Bank of New York. Colonel Osgood was elected president.
September 14th, opening day, and a handful of employees greet customers at its first home office, a two-story building at 52 Wall Street. As Citibank began to grow, its management gained a reputation for stability and solvency. Despite a severe financial panic in 1837, Citibank paid its dividends, and in a second panic in 1857, 985 banks in New York State failed whilst Citibank added depositors.
1861, and a troubled nation plunged into civil war. President Lincoln turned to the New York banks to solicit $150 million for the Union. Citibank responded with a $70 million subscription in gold. War's end. Citibank surrendered its state charter and joined the new national banking system, becoming the National City Bank of New York.
President Moses Taylor led the bank's involvement in a venture to lay the first transatlantic cable in 1866. This reduced the time to complete overseas banking transactions from months to hours. Under the leadership of James Stillman, the need for the establishment of a foreign department in 1897 to serve the bank's largest corporate customers with overseas operations was another sign of its continued growth in international finance.
By the turn of the century, many European companies with overseas operations were looking for trade financing outside Europe due to the growing political instability on the continent prior to World War I. The financial community of New York City responded to this challenge as it looked to replace London as the financial capital of the world. This expanded involvement in foreign trade and finance spurred Congress to pass the Federal Reserve Act in 1913, which allowed U.S. national banks to operate branches overseas for the first time. These were branches for corporate customers, and they paved the way for consumer banking through our branches worldwide.
Citi is organized into two major segments, Citicorp and Citi Holdings. Citicorp contains consumer and institutional clients group, core businesses. Citi Holdings contains Citi's brokerage and asset management includes Smith Barney, Global Consumer Finance, and Citi's special asset portfolios. Citi's Global Consumer Business, GCB, also called Regional Consumer Banking, is one of the largest retail banks in the world. It serves more than 100 million clients in 40 countries. Its revenues consist of 50% of the total revenue within Citicorp in 2011. Its deposits accounts for 40% of its total deposits. Citi's GCB businesses consist of 5 divisions: retail banking, Citibank; Citi branded cards, Citi Cards; Citi Mortgage, Citi Commercial Banking, and Citi Retail Services, formerly Citi Retail Partner Cards. Commercial banking at Citi serves 1 lakh small to medium-sized companies in 32 countries. Citi Institutional Clients Group, also known as Securities and Banking, offers investment and corporate banking services and products for corporates, governments, institutions, and ultra-high net worth investors. Containing Citi's most market-sensitive divisions, ICG is divided into 4 primary businesses: Citi Markets and Citi Transaction Services, Citi Private Bank, and Citi Corporate and Investment Banking. Citi Capital Advisors, CCA, formerly Citi Alternative Investments, was a Citi hedge fund that offers various investment strategies across multiple asset classes, ranging from market strategies to infrastructure and private equity investing for institutional and high net worth investors. Due to US regulations as part of the Volcker Rule to limit bank ownership in hedge funds to no more than 3%, Citi spinned off its hedge fund unit with its managers owing a significant part of the new company. The spin-off of CCA created Napier Park Global Capital, a $6.8 billion hedge fund with more than 100 employees in New York and London. The new company will be managed by Jim O'Brien and Jonathan Dorfman, who would serve as co-CEOs and were former Citi executives managing CCA. Citigroup will continue to retain a sizable minority position in the new firm, but will also slowly withdraw its capital over time by the July 2014 deadline stipulated by the Volcker Rule. In 1998, the General Accounting Office issued a report critical of Citibank's handling of funds received from Raul Salinas de Gortari, the brother of Carlos Salinas, the former president of Mexico. The report, titled Raul Salinas, Citibank and Alleged Money Laundering, indicated that Citibank facilitated the transfer of millions of dollars through complex financial transactions to hide the paper trail of funds. The report also indicated that Citibank took on Raul Salinas as a client, even though they did not make a thorough inquiry as to how he made his fortune. In November 2007, it became public that the Citigroup is heavily involved in the Terra Securities scandal, which involved investments by 8 municipalities of Norway in various hedge funds in the United States bond market. The funds were sold by Terra Securities ASA to the municipalities, while the products were delivered by Citigroup. Terra Securities ASA filed for bankruptcy November 28, 2000, the day after they received a letter from the Financial Supervisory Authority of Norway announcing withdrawal of permissions to operate. The same letter also stated the Supervisory Authority contends that Citigroup's presentation, as well as the presentation from Terra Securities ASA, appears insufficient and misleading because central elements like information about potential extra payments and the size of these are omitted. So students, we went through the company's history to its present market scenario. Hope you must have got useful information about the company. Have a nice day. Goodbye.